Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 8:30 p.m. CET time, and we are extremely delighted to see all of you guys here on the call with us today.
Jay,
There are still more people coming in, and I think we will have to wait for the interpreters for just a few minutes, but we will get started in just a while. Roger, who is our official operator of the Zoom machine today, he's calibrating, adjusting the engines, getting everything up and running for what I believe is going to be a very, very exciting global call. And probably when we look back later, one of the most important calls that we end up doing during this entire year, 2026. Please let me know, Roger, when we're good to start.
Will do.
Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We are just having all the different language rooms set up, and we will begin the call in a matter of a few minutes. Thank you very much.
Yes.
For the ones joining us just now, we are about to begin in just a couple of minutes. We're making sure that all the different language rooms are properly set up, and then we will begin our call in just a couple of minutes. It's great to see you all here. We now have nearly 1,000 people on the call, which is fantastic, considering that we have people joining us from all over the world at very different times of the day. Here in Thailand, here in Asia, myself and Mr. Wayne Dobson, we're joining in. It's around 2:30 a.m. in the morning. Obviously, in Europe, it is now about 8-9 p.m. And our brothers and sisters joining in from North America, this will be a Monday morning for them. So welcome everybody, and we will begin in just a minute.
Lucia, can you please confirm that you can now use the Portuguese screen?
Okay.
We're good to
So
go.
we are good to start. I'm getting an information to my earphone that we are good to go. Well, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second global call of Corsair Connect for the year 2026. It is fantastic to see all of you. We are just about 1,000 people here on this great Monday evening when a lot of information will be shared with you. Now, this call today, as I said, will contain a lot of news, a lot of updates, a lot of information. So please pay attention, make notes, and also I recommend you to watch this recording later as well. Okay, so let's make sure that we okay, good. I'm just getting last information. Now we should be good to go. So please make sure that you make notes, pay attention, and even watch this recording later on, because there will be a lot of information shared today. We're going to start our call right away with a major upgrade for our entire business when it comes to the network operations of Corsair Connect, formerly known as Amplivo, something that has been worked and has been prepared for a number of years is the upgrade and the relaunch, the introduction of our new back office system. Now, when I say that this was years in the making, I really mean that, because when Corsair acquired the Amplivo network marketing company in 2021, almost exactly 5 years ago, we already at that time knew that the back office that was there was outdated and it definitely needed an upgrade. And for a number of years, Wayne Dobson and myself, we tried to find a software company that we could acquire this back office to make a simple implementation. And because of the scale and complexity of our ecosystem, everything to do with the Corsair Connect network, with our crowdfunding operations that we now have, everything to do with the CSR plastic credits, with the awards, how all that comes together. It's a very, very complicated system. And we couldn't, to be very straightforward and honest with you, we couldn't find a single IT company that was able to provide like a turnkey solution that would have been suitable for us at that time. So ultimately, we made a decision together with Wayne that he will write, design, and architect our own back office system, which then he, together with our in-house team, has now built. And I am extremely proud of the work that these people have done together with the leadership from Wayne in order to bring us to the point where we are now today, able to actually give you a live presentation by Mr. Wayne Dobson, the Chief Information Officer of Corsair, about this back office that will now become launched and active on Saturday, the 28th of February. So in just a matter of a couple of days. Now, that being said, I'd like to hand over the microphone for Mr. Wayne Dobson, who will now explain to you and show you how the new back office, which is coming live in the next couple of days, is going to be operated. And I think what you will see is very exciting. I know we are very excited about this. And I truly believe that this will be a game changer for the entire Corsair Connect business. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over the floor for Wayne, and he will now give you a live introduction for the new back office. Wayne, are you there?
Yeah, everybody hear me okay? Yes, no, hello?
We can hear you well, Wayne. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, well, we're well past the 1,000 threshold on the call. As Jay has said, this is our second dip in the water for 2026. And I'm delighted to see everybody here on the call. And I'm very excited now to talk you through how we're going to introduce the Corsair Connect back office and some of the unique features that it has in it. I'm going to be sharing my screen in a few moments and walk you through some of those steps. I want to start by saying that this is a unique piece of software that nobody has seen in the real world. Obviously, there are a few senior networkers that have been involved, but essentially, this is a new world for us all. And it's a very complicated solution that we've engaged with, very comprehensive solution. As Jay has said, this is not simply a network marketing back office, because it also integrates those aspects of our crowdfunding activities, but more importantly, the plastic credit distribution and allocation activities. Nobody else does that in the world, and therefore the software available off the shelf, if you like, just doesn't wash. So with that aside, let me launch into a live demonstration of what Corsair Connect is and the things that you'll all be able to experience after the next pay run. Next pay run being Friday this week, ending at midnight GMT. And at that point, we're going to move into a transition period. That transition period will start with, first of all, the existing Amplivo platform will be taken offline, along with the CSR Now platform. Both those platforms will be taken down, and they'll go into maintenance mode. And at the same time, we will initiate a migration of all the data that's needed to launch Corsair Connect. And that's going to take around 24 hours. So from that point of the pay run, amplivo.com, the Academy, CSR Now, and for those further afield in Canada, the Canada.amplivo.com will also be taken into maintenance mode. It's anticipated that around the 1st of March, the very next day, we'll be bringing in line the CSR Now platform, which will incorporate all of its existing shop, but will exclude all the activities to do with CSR. So CSR distribution will no longer be present on the CSR Now platform. We'll also introduce on Sunday of next week the CorsairConnect.com platform, and everybody that's presently registered on Amplivo will be able to log in with your existing username from Amplivo and your existing password. And having gone through a few hoops to jump through, you'll be registered and activated in Corsair Connect. And I'm going to try to demonstrate that live for you now and then talk you through the platform. Let me try to share my screen. One moment. If somebody give me an indication they can see my screen, that'd be great.
We can see your screen, Wayne.
Fantastic.
Yeah, good.
Okay, so you'll all hit corsairconnect.com and you'll click your sign in, then enter your existing Amplivo username and password. There you go. Didn't get very far, did I? What have I done there? And that will initiate our onboarding process. It's like an entirely new platform, new company. As Jay will talk about the initiation of a new compensation plan and lots of change that sit in here. So you'll accept the terms and conditions. These are not the actual terms and conditions, they're just holding place, but you'll accept the terms and conditions at the time. Once you've accepted that, you'll go into this migrate to Corsair Connect. Once you click that, it'll rapidly go through checking your status, migrating your profile, all of your wallet balances, and all of your transaction history. If you're from the US or Canada, it will also check to make sure that you have a registered insurance number to do with your taxation position and your state. The rest of the world simply goes to this continue section here. If you've got set up your 2FA in Amplivo, you'll enter it here. If not, you'll use an email one-time passcode, which goes through to your existing email from the Amplivo platform. And that's it. At that point, you'll be in Corsair Connect with all of your history, your wallet balances, all of your profile is already migrated over to Corsair Connect at that stage. I'm just going to spend a few minutes talking in a bit more detail about some of the aspects of Corsair Connect as a platform. It has a dashboard, as you would all expect. And what we've tried to do is introduce to you a more modern approach to how this will work for you on a daily basis. We call these tiles. So these first two tiles, this start your journey and complete your profile, they indicate the things that are needed for a new sign up to Corsair Connect. So a brand new sign up, and like all of you guys, they're going to have all of these things to complete because the new person won't have done their first purchase. They won't have what we call activated their Pro Access. Pro Access is the new word, if you like, or the new phrase behind the business license. They won't have invited any new members at this stage. Excuse me. So all these will have these little red dots showing that you need to do these things to move forwards. When you've done each of these four things, these two tiles will disappear from your dashboard forever. They just start up. We put them in place because we believe they will help. And over the coming weeks and months, we'll be able to customize and stylize these in line with your feedback, which I'll talk to you about in a moment, and the general usage of the system. The rest of the dashboard is there for you to customize as you want. We have a My Profile tile, My Finances, Personal Productivity, and so on. The things you'd expect to see on a dashboard. But everybody around the world, we know, works differently. You have your own way of running your teams, your own way of running your business. So what we've worked really hard to do is to give you the ability to make this your own. And I'm going to jump to the very bottom of the menu here to settings, and then into a thing called dashboard layout. And here it really opens up the versatility of what we tried to build for you. This might look like the dashboard you had only a few seconds ago, but it's quite different. This is the layout dashboard that you can change. So you can move any of these tiles around on the dashboard. Many of you have seen this sort of facility on other applications. It's not something very common in the multi-level marketing dashboard solution. But we've taken that a step further because, I repeat, I don't know how each of you run your business. I don't know about all the information that you want. So as the weeks and months pass, you're going to tell me, well, I'd like this on my dashboard or that on my dashboard. I'd like to look at it like this. So I've introduced at its core the basis of customization. So here we have the same dashboard with all of the customized tiles that we in the development team, along with some of the network leaders, feel that's important. And you can add or remove many of these tiles. So if you want this my career on your dashboard, you tick it and now it's on your dashboard. You want to take it away, you untick it. Some things we're making mandatory. You can't remove the My Profile from your dashboard. We think it's important it's there for everybody. But there's a thing called bookmarks, a thing called notifications. Moving to productivity, there's a couple of additional tiles here. Both these are mandatory. Finance, there's two here, optional tiles, which you can choose to have on your dashboard or not. Both these career ones presently are mandatory. There's a sales one. You can have your weekly sales volume show on your dashboard, should you choose to have it. This library of back office tiles, dashboard tiles, will grow over the weeks and months to come, and they'll be customized and stylized to what you give us the feedback of what you need in your business. That's the dashboard customization. I'm going to very quickly, as fast as I can, I'm going to go through these menu items, but there's a lot to show, a lot of detail for you to take in. And on that point, I'd like to say, please understand this is a comprehensive platform which nobody is familiar with today. Most people will just skim the surface, do the things they need to do on a day-to-day basis. But then there'll be the people that become the power users, that dig into the very depths of what we've created and everything in between. And you'll find your slot on how it will work. But please be patient, learn the solution, engage with the discoverability that we're put into the platform, and everything will be fine. If you expect it to be like Amplivo, then sadly you're going to be disappointed. It's not like Amplivo.com. It's a complete rewrite of what we think you need as a business to grow forwards. Under this My Account section, we've got these red dots showing things that need to be completed. And these change as you go through your career. They point you in the right direction. Whenever you see a red dot, there's something to do. You have a My Profile section, your basic information. It has your billing address, and you can change your password. Not going to go into details. You can see what it's offering. KYC is a big change for us. We received a lot of feedback of people saying that they need the KYC to be simpler. What we've introduced is this 3-tier system. If you're used to other financial platforms, you'll be aware of this concept. These numbers may change from time to time and within your region. A tier 1 platform, a tier 1 KYC is simply your ID card, whether it be your passport or your government issued ID card. You can go into this low level of withdrawals, which gets most people off the ground. There's no details of your address. No need to prove your address here. Move on to tier 2. This is where your proof of address is important. For majority of the Western world, we no longer ask you for your address. It's taken directly from the document you present. So all those typing errors that we've had in the past, where somebody has misspelt or mistranscribed a particular address, that's no longer relevant. Yes, for Thailand and China, etc., those places still need to provide their normal typed address. But for Europe, the UK, Australia, America, etc., we take it directly from the document, really reducing those delays and issues and errors that have crept in. You have to do a third tier when you want to look at CrowdX investment, all of our crowdfunding areas. This is because we are required here to do AML legislation, AML checks. Prior to here, it's simply these two documents, very, very straightforward for most of the Western world. Moving on to my finances, we've completely restructured the My Wallet section. So gone are those old tiles that we saw in Amplivo, and here you have a primary wallet. This is very similar to your existing online cash account. You have a bonus wallet, which you have already in Amplivo. But we've incorporated here your CSR wallet, so it's right in the system here. We have a thing called value vouchers, I'm going to talk to you about later. If you want to withdraw something, you simply click the withdraw and the deposit button over here. So you go straight to your wallet and do the activities that you needed. All of the earnings section, it sits here, gives you all the details of all of your earnings. Everything pops up, giving you your commission statements, etc. So you can engage with your earnings on a week-by-week basis. Purchases that you make. It's worth noting here that purchases are actually the activity now. In the past, we've talked about buying a gift code, transferring a gift code, redeeming a gift code. The concept of a gift code is something that's history now. When you make a purchase, that purchase is completed. And for those of you who are perhaps concerned about how you do some of the things you've got in your business model, where you buy a gift code and pass it on to another, we have that in this thing called a value voucher, which is a global cross-network solution, unlike the gift code that you're familiar with. This is much more versatile. I'll cover it in a bit more detail in a moment. Your standard finance documents are all here. Your invoices, any credit notes, should you have any manual adjustments that happen onto your online cash account, everything can be documented in here. All of your deposit documentation, and then your withdrawal documentation. As I said earlier, the CSR Now solution for management of your CSR has been removed, and it will sit in this My CSR right inside Corsair Connect. Everything sits here. It gives you the full details of all the activity around your plastic credits. And for those of you that are really familiar with the way CSR Now works, this is our standard table that I introduced nearly 4 years ago now. So you can select which columns you wish to view. You can filter, you can clear the filters. You can look at this and dice it however you like. And I guess it's the first real leap into something that's unique, that many people are going to find quite unique in the way that we've delivered this value voucher concept. You'll notice here a thing called a pay link. I'll come on to that in a moment. You'll see that they can be sent, used, partially used, or available. I'd like you to think about this as a bit like buying a Starbucks voucher. If I want to give Jay a coffee, I can take him in there and I can buy him the coffee. But also I can send him a Starbucks voucher. I can go to Starbucks and give him my $10. They'll give me a voucher, and then I can give that over to Jay, and Jay can go into any Starbucks in the world, and he can use that voucher to buy a coffee. Doesn't require KYC. I'm just giving him a coffee. That is the concept of the value voucher. You want to buy a value voucher and give it to somebody else in the world, you're able to do that within the system. It's fully auditable and fully tracked. And I'll cover that in a lot more detail when I give you a demonstration. But this is just a list of the value vouchers that are in my finances in this demo account. Retired CSR is not enabled on this platform right now, but it will be on the platform before the end of the week. The list of your CSR retirements will also be listed. The plastic credit purchase pool will also be listed. All of my activity for this demo account will be listed in here. Then we move into the shop. Our plastic removal package, PMPs as you know them today. In the past, it's been very limited. We're going to be able to get certain packages, and we do list initial group of packages that you can use here. You can also use custom amount and buy any amount that you want. So whatever amount you choose, you can actually just purchase it right from here, whatever amount is needed. It's also worth noting the amount is now in dollars. Everything inside Corsair Connect is dollars. I'm going to switch back quickly to the wallet section. So here you can see this in dollars. But if you're in the Eurozone, that might not mean a lot to you. You may not be familiar with it. So giving the ability to be able to say, what's the estimated euro value of that? It's not exact. This is just a calculation done at this very 1 second from the exchange rate that's in use. Same with Canadian dollars. Just so people can be very familiar with what the values are. I'm going to choose to buy this PRP 100. It's very straightforward. I accept the terms and conditions. I say where I want to buy it from, which in this case is my primary wallet, and I confirm it. And I click confirm. At that point, it's purchased. There's no gift code. There's no further activity. This is actually already done. I could also choose to purchase this as what we call an assisted purchase. I want to just change this so it's different on the system right now. Here's a PRP 500. Click assisted purchase up here. I then can specify a username and an email. What this then does is send this plastic waste removal service package to this user. If this user didn't exist, it would also assist or pass an assisted sign-up solution. So that means you, as the experienced networker and user of the system, can walk your new member through the whole of this process. You help them understanding what their username is all about. You take their name, you type their name in. You decide what country they're from. And then when this goes through, you're given a link which that user can use. I'll try to demonstrate that. So this user does not presently exist in the system. What that will actually do come Saturday is ask you for the more details down here. It's not done it for now, for this demo service, unfortunately, but it will give us the opportunity to give a QR code, which can be scanned by your new member, or to copy a link. And once they've done that, it simply goes through a two-step process of confirming the purchase, accepting the terms and conditions, it automatically signs a new user up and makes this purchase on their behalf. So this removes all of the obligation for them to deposit directly into the platform and to follow through that process. You can do all that off platform in a much more elegant way.
Wayne, if I may jump over here,
Yeah.
this is monumental, because we know how much people have been asking for a simple solution for customers to onboard into the system. And the fact that you, as a member, as a affiliate, and as a partner of the Corsair Connect platform, you can actually register your client in by simply assigning a username for them, and by using their email address, you can make the purchase and then have that person to now become a customer. So that's a very, very big step forward, and I'm thrilled to see the effects that this is going to have on your daily work.
Thank you, Jay. All of this facility is enabled by this thing called the value voucher. What actually happens behind the scenes in here is the value voucher is created, which is attached to a product, attached to an individual, and then they can go by the QR code. You can also buy value vouchers on their own. So the idea of being able to transfer funds from one account to another, from one online cash account to another, with the restrictions of that being in your upline or your tree, and the restrictions of KYC, they're gone. Using this solution, you can transfer to somebody who does not have a KYC today. I didn't have to ask Jay to do a KYC so I can send him a coffee voucher. You don't have to have a KYC to receive a Corsair Connect voucher either. So in here, hopefully this one will work, but it may not. This is only the demo platform, unfortunately. No, this also not working. They should ask me for more details because this member is not available. But nevertheless, if we enter details in here that do exist, then it goes to that existing member, and a new member, it will allow them to sign up as part of this process. You purchase a package. Plastic waste purchase pool. I don't have anything in here, but any entrance into the purchase pool you'll have here. You can buy a pro access license. Once again, this is effectively the business license of the past. Exactly the same right now. It may change in the future, but right now you'll pay $10 for this. It'll last a year. Your current career is something we've really moved forward with. You have your career progress. Tells you all about how this all moves forwards. And some of these words will change before the end of the week, but nevertheless, it shows you what's needed to reach your next level. And you can choose what you want this to show. So to go to a senior customer, this guy needs this much. This guy is presently a 1-star. To get to a 5-star, he'll need this much. This will all change dynamically as you select through. Big change in how you can examine your network. So this is the network tree for this particular member. You can zoom in and out and see exactly what's going on. Now, it's really important in 2026 to understand privacy regulations, data protection regulations around the world. We've done our utmost to comply with all regulations and legislation around privacy. So there's lots of things in this demonstration where you'll see it says private. And I'll come on to exactly what that means as we move forwards. A lot of people have had input to the way that this system works. This is not all directly from my head. I'm just going to show you some of the features that it has available. You can see this little arrow here, little box with an arrow. When I click this, this will appear over here on the right. and I can put many users over there. And then I can look at the individual data that's behind each of these users. So I can be looking at this and working out what I might want to do, how I might want to contact these people, what I can do to enable them. And right now, most of this is private, and I'll come on to that in a second. You can also double click one of these boxes, like this one, and it appears here. You can get more details of the user by looking here. Just click the little cog. As you hover over other items, then they appear to the right-hand side of that pinned item, as we call it. So you can be looking for somebody and comparing different people. If you double click any of these boxes, it switches the block. So this user 12, when I double click here, it moves over to this one. Then we can compare it with others. We envisage this solution changing dynamically as we see how you use these facilities. Until we get that usage feedback, we don't know exactly what the user facility should be. But we've given you a starting point. We're very excited to see how you use this system moving forwards. And this is what we call the chart view. We also have a list view. We can see it in a more traditional style. And you can export this and see everything about your network. Obviously, some people have got very, very large networks. And we've had to look at how we can give you the ability to drill into your network and see what's going on. So I've introduced, first of all, a thing called filters. This is a very traditional type filter that many of you will be familiar with. So I can say, well, 0 stars, or those people that are active or inactive. Those people what we call buyers, so they've come from the CSR Now environment. We have lots of these traditional filter scenarios. You just select them, nothing clever. We're all very familiar with this. We've tried to take this one stage further. An interesting thing called a smart filter. It's when the smart filter is turned on and you go back to filters, it now gives you a natural language way using AI to integrate and investigate your particular network. So for example, I can say in here, show me my 1 stars. And that's exactly what it does. It shows you all the 1 stars that are in my network. I'm not going into a lot of detail here. This is showing that there's 2 people in here that are not 1 stars. I want to see them, I can click on it and it will expand my network and give me those back. But these 2 people are not 1 stars, you can see by the color system. And these colors may change even before the weekend to make them a bit more elegant for you. But this chart will let you know exactly what's going on in your network, allow you to explore what's happening and who's doing the work. We talk about who's doing the work. We'll go back to filters. I say, show me people who purchased this week, for example. These are the people that are on my system, in my network, that bought a package this week. And you can imagine the sort of versatility that gives you to drill into your network and who is doing things. I think that's going to be really important for you as you progress through your career and building your network and driving your network forwards. We're really excited to see how you see all of this stuff working on. There's some actions just to say that you can center things and fit it to the screen, expand and collapse. So if I collapse, it'll just be me. If I expand everybody, it shows me everything in my current filter. You can export this with a PDF, giving you the ability to drive your network forwards in what works for you. And then look, I'm moving on to this thing called Member Connect. Now, this may not be available at launch, but it'll be available within a few days or weeks after launch. And you can consider this very much like a the WhatsApp inside Member Connect. You'll be able to invite friends, get accepted by those friends, and then chat to them within the system, much as you would do any other chat system. Nothing very clever here in that sense. What we've also introduced is this next thing, which is the tasks solution. Once again, maybe a week or so away, not too long, where once you accept somebody as a friend, you can also decide whether those people are allowed to give you what we're calling tasks. And we as a company may well also put in place templated tasks, helping those new users understand how to engage with this system, engage with the network, engage with the plastic credit community and our mission as a whole. That means somebody, let's say, is in Italy, will have their way of building their network, maybe different to somebody in France or the US or Canada. And the leaders in those countries will be able to customize tasks that work for those particular areas. So I can create a task for myself, I give it a title and a description. I can choose to call it a template so I can pull it back in later. And I can assign it to somebody. I can only assign it to somebody who is a friend within the messaging system, and only if that friend has already enabled me to give them that task. So when they accept the friendship, they'll also say whether they're prepared to accept tasks from me. And while the company will always reserve the right to pass tasks to any member, an individual registered member can decide what they want from within the network itself. Once again, we see this is very exciting of how you're going to be able to drive your business forwards. The senior networkers out there will be already thinking of how they can use this to enable their network to grow. And there'll be lots of reporting and analytics available to networkers on how their network is performing, how their team members are performing against a given templated task. This is going to be really monumental, I think, as we move forwards. We have an event system. I think you're all very familiar with this system. It was introduced to the Academy some time ago. It's almost exactly the same, but it sits in here, not on a separate platform, but right inside Corsair Connect. We have a support center. We are, with intent, not putting a razor ticket here, a support ticket here, because we're very much moved into the idea of a modern AI-driven support environment. That's not to say we're not here to help you, and I'm going to show you, hopefully, exactly how that will work. So down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our little friend called Milo. Milo's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, like any other support bot. And you're able to ask questions in a natural language. So I could say, for example, what is the process all about? Okay, it's a yearly subscription. It unlocks the platform features. It includes advanced learning, eligibility and career progression and stuff. And we can read that and we say, oh, look, we still don't really understand it, to say, so what does it cost? And hopefully it's going to come back and tell me $10. Okay, it costs $10 a year. I purchased it and it's not showing on account. This is something Milo's not going to be able to sort out. But now it's going to invite me, I hope, to pass it on to a support agent. At this point, it's just asking me, do I want to ask him more questions? Or do I want somebody else to look at it, try a human being to look at it? So I say yes. Let's say it's got some problems, happy to pass it on. Don't want to add any more details, I can say no. It's then gone away and raised a ticket for me, or raised a case for me, this 141224. We'll go straight over to Support Center now. Here's my ticket that I've just been raised. And this is picked up by the traditional support solution within our team members that you're all familiar with, and they will work through this with you. The entire details of the chat is included into here. You're given an automatic response, and then we'll respond to it using the normal ticketing solution. You're able to respond from right within this platform, but you're also able to respond directly from email. You get an email for this ticket, and if you reply to that email, then the AI support agent will pick that up in the reply and just deal with it via email. You don't actually need to come into the platform to manage any of your support cases. It's entirely by email. Skipping on to our Learning and Resource Center. This is the academy of the past. It's just a little bit more modern, I guess, and it will expand a lot of the functionality that we have. So we have our video, our PDFs, PowerPoints, all available for us in the normal way. You can download them and view them just as you would do normally. Obviously, material will gradually migrate over to the Corsair Connect brand. This one in particular will be upgraded very, very quickly. The documentation is already created. It's just been migrated to this platform before the weekend. Expect that Amplivo will disappear over the coming weeks and months, and Corsair Connect will take over. We've really focused on giving you the platform first, giving you the tools first, and then having all that other material pick up as we move forwards. We have our traditional newsletters. They all appear here. You can view your newsletters right in the platform as we create them. And you can print them and download them as you wish. And then finally, settings. And this really shows the depth of Corsair Connect, and it's a bit of an anticlimax in many respects. But nevertheless, it shows you some of the detail that's gone into creating this platform for you. Your basic preferences, nothing really clever here, and we're all familiar with this side of the environment. I showed you earlier about the dashboard layout. You're not visiting this very often. Once you've got it set up as you want it, it's set up, it's fine. Your profile visibility. This is all about what information you want to share with the people around you. So if you choose not to share your company name or your language, etc., then very much in a Facebook type environment, it's just shown just to you. Only you can see those details, and you can choose whether it be your sponsor or your entire upline. Now, we've broken this down into all the different areas of your personal information, so you can decide exactly how public you wish to be. We've also introduced a thing called the Shield Network. This is where for senior networkers, and only senior networkers, you can choose to shield your network from other members above you. So if you're, for example, and I think this is probably where it's going to stick, if you're a 5-star and above, then you can shield your network. And those people above you that are 5, 6, and 7 stars, they can't penetrate into your network. They can't hand tasks down. They can't become friends of those people, chat with those people, invite those people to their network groups. You've got your network, and you grow your business on a global scale as you see fit. And this is really important as we start to scale out across the globe. People are very keen to drive their particular team, their particular business in the way that they want to do it, and not have influences of different areas of the world controlling what they're doing. This is a really exciting feature as well, I think. And we've got the network features. Now, this is more about what I want to see in this network chart. So when I look at my network, I decide that I want to see people's first name, assuming that they already say that they're prepared to share their first name with me. So the fact that somebody doesn't want to share their name will override my desire to see them in the network chart. It takes a little bit of getting your mind around it. It's worth spending a second on it. So profile visibility is what I want to share in this account with those around me. Once I made that decision, anybody above me would then be able to use their detail preferences to say, if somebody wants to share their first name with me, I can read it. But maybe I think it's too much clutter in my brain. I'm not interested what gender they are. I don't want to know what their telephone number is. I might want to know what their language is. So this will actually show what I see in my network chart for my network. And then finally, security. We've really worked hard to give you what the network has asked for within this area of security. And it's actually quite apt that it's the last thing I'm going to talk about today. I have my feelings of how secure I think you should be with the funds that are in your account, how secure you should be with the way that you deal with our shop. And there are some of those things that the business will enforce upon you. They will say you must use either a one-time passcode code or a two-factor authentication to do something, because we want to have security within the company and for you as the members around your particular financial transaction. But there are many things we're going to allow you to choose yourself. When it's grayed out like this, the company has made a decision. These are not the final settings. They'll be changed before the weekend. But it will say that if you want to do a purchase, you may be forced to use 2FA. We may give it an option, and I may default it to say, to do a purchase, I think the company thinks you should use Google 2FA. If you choose to disable it and reduce the security within the platform for your account, then we're going to let you do that. I'd encourage everybody to think carefully before reducing the security in the platform. These things do take a little bit more time. They are a little bit more effort, but they're a lot more secure. This is your money inside our platform. We want it to be safe and secure. We've given you the tools to be safe and secure. If you choose to ignore that and make it so that it's a simple click, then anybody that gets hold of your email password will have access to your funds on this platform. Please think about all the security you need on the platform. With that, I'm going to hand back to Jay. He's going to talk more about the compensation plan changes, the fact that this is a completely new company in many respects. It's a completely new platform. We're going to move into changing the compensation plan, allocations of compensation across the wallets, and all those things are going to really help us move into 2026 in an amazing way. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for taking your time, listening to what Corsair Connect is going to bring to you. And thank you for the amazing opportunity that you've given me to contribute to saving the planet from its plastic waste. Thank you, guys.
Amazing, Wayne. Thank you very much. That was fantastic. Bravo for you and the entire team for getting all that done. As I mentioned earlier, this truly has been work that has taken several years to get to where we are right now. And I think that this will be truly a game changer for everyone in the Corsair Connect business. Now, what you can see over there and what I'm really impressed about is obviously how we are bringing AI into this platform as well to really help you to get the information from your network, from your business, when you need it and how you need it. Very, very great developments. And as Wayne mentioned, this is going to go live after the pay run, so basically on Saturday the 28th. And starting from that, there is going to be a transition period. There might be, and hopefully there is no, but there might be things that need to be fixed during this time. But now we are in full control of the back office, of the software, of this code that we've developed in-house. And when we think about this as a company, this is very, very important for us in terms of the longevity and security of everything that we are building. Additionally to that, when we think about the company and its value, now we own this piece of software, which is very, very valuable. And that will add into the value of the entire Corsair Group. Now, I'm going to run through with you a number of updates. We are going to have additional calls that will take place for the different teams. So please stay tuned for more information regarding those. We are going to do some of the team calls like we usually do after the global calls with the different teams from France, Italy, and so on. During those calls, we'll be able to look more into detail of some of the topics that I will be presenting you right now. We just want to make sure that we don't take this call too long, but try to keep it at about an hour, hour 15. Now, there's going to be a lot of things that will happen after the new back office comes into action. We have been working a lot to bring together and to implement new payment systems. And I'm very happy to inform you today that in the coming weeks, we're going to start implementing these payment systems with the new back office. These are payment systems that will be rolled out one after another. There will be a number of different options how clients will be able to pay into the company. And these will be then step-by-step implemented for our global clients, including the North Americans, Europeans, and the rest of the world as well. Now, I'm also happy to inform you that we have now completed the establishment of our USA-based companies. There is now 2 USA companies, one called Corsair Connect USA LLC, which is now going to become the domestic company where clients from the United States will be able to buy their plastic waste removal service from. Additionally, there is another company called Corsair Connect International LLC, which has also now been added into the group of companies. And as a part of our larger international strategy, we are moving the Corsair Connect network marketing operations more and more towards the United States. And this second company will play a major role in that in the future. Now, these companies will also be having their bank accounts in the United States, which are, again, related to the previous topic of having these payment systems included and helping our clients from different parts of the world to now interact with us and help us to clean the planet from plastic pollution. Also, once we have now moved onwards from the launch and the implementation of the new Corsair Connect back office, we are going to continue and take another step in our strategic plan, which also includes the implementation of more CSR awards. I know that at least some of you older members that we have here today have been curious and you've been asked and you have asked us about what is happening with the so-called ISF CSR awards. If you've joined us in the last few years, this has nothing really to do with you. This has all to do with clients that were part of this company, Amplivo, before Corsair took over the ownership of that company. And as a part of that takeover, there was a number of clients that we wanted to look after, and this has been done by providing these people awards in the CSR plastic credits. And now this year will also be the time when we will start to progress more with the distribution of these awards. I want to highlight that this has nothing to do with the technological development. It has nothing to do with Wayne or the IT team. It's not an IT matter at all. It's purely a strategic decision that we've done, and we are following a very clear plan in which stages different actions will be taken. And now this year, we will begin with more awards, which will be distributed for some of these very early clients that were there even before Corsair was established. I mentioned earlier last month that we are going to announce this month the location for the first USA facility. We are at this moment finalizing the paperwork, finalizing the details of this collaboration and partnership, and therefore we won't be able to announce it for you here today, but I can tell you that it's going to happen probably within the next 10 days. So we'll save that a little bit later. There will be other things to talk about still today, but we are very, very excited about now the progress that we're seeing in the United States. You will hear in this call and in the future calls, the United States mentioned more and more and more. It is simply because of the magnitude of the plastic waste problem in that country and how the United States as a whole and different states are now all beginning to move towards plastic neutrality. I'll talk about this in a few minutes even more. But we have a number of facilities right now which is already in the pipeline in the United States. We are working to bring these facilities active, some of them still within this year, and I'm looking forward to announce the first location for our first US facility shortly. Now, Wayne mentioned about improvements to the compensation plan. First of all, I want to thank everybody who has contributed for the discussion and given us ideas, suggestions, even very clear plans of what they think we should do or we could do in order to improve our current compensation plan. Now, again, the compensation plan that we're using right now was something that was already there 5 years ago when Corsair acquired the Amplivo company, which now has been completely remodeled and basically you can say left behind as we have now moved into Corsair Connect as a part of the larger development, improvement, and evolution of our company. Now, we haven't done any major changes to the compensation plan since the last 5 years. There's been a few adjustments which were very good, but they were very minor. The one that we are going to introduce for you here today is actually very significant. We are going to introduce next month additional improvements that we are planning to do for the compensation plan. And again, this is all based on contribution from tens of people around the world that have been kind to share their thoughts and their ideas with us on how to make the compensation plan better. Our target with the compensation plan has always been and will always be to reward the people that are actively operating within the business, to make sure that there is money that is paid into the pockets of the people that are actively working to build the company and build the business, and also rewards the newcomers, allowing them to have an inspiring and motivational start in their journey with Corsair Connect. While doing that, we always want to make sure that the top leadership and people that are looking to build a long-term career with Corsair can truly build this business to become a life-changing financial opportunity. So today, we are going to introduce for you the first of these improvements, which will take place on the 28th of February, on this coming Saturday, whereas starting from Saturday onwards, the new commission payouts, instead of having the 70% of your commissions going to your so-called online cash account and 30% going into your so-called bonus wallet, you will now begin to earn 80% cash into your online cash account and 20% into your bonus wallet. Basically, what it means is that without any additional work, all the partners of the Corsair Connect will now begin to earn around 14% more cash every week. As you know, we as a company have a very, very large payout percentage. It's very, very large. I mean, you could say probably one of the largest, if not the largest in the entire industry, where we are in an actively basis paying out somewhere around 60 to 65% of the weekly revenue as commissions to the partners. And now with this improvement of increasing from 70% to 80% in terms of cash, I'm excited to see the effect that this will have on the earnings on people that are actively operating within our business. There will be a number of new compensation plan improvements coming soon. And once the new back office is now up and running, we're going to start to then next move towards introducing these, as well as introducing the new payment systems. Now, this year will definitely see a lot of growth in all parts of our business, both on the industrial part, on the part of the CSR plastic credits, and on the part of the Corsair Connect network. We can expect, as a part of our annual strategy, more growth to be done by acquisition. What does that mean? Well, I'll give you a practical example. Over the last years, Corsair, as an industrial operator, has already purchased, taken over, acquired 3 other pyrolysis companies. And now we're going to start to do the same thing with network marketing companies and teams. What is so exciting is that we are almost on a weekly basis, we are now being approached by major global leaders of network marketing companies and teams that are contacting us and want now to interact with us in different parts of the world. And I think that this year we're going to start to see the first of these acquisitions, where basically Corsair Connect will begin to include into its operations, similarly what we did with the great people from iHub in the United States, more already existing and operational network marketing companies and teams. And with all these works that we are now finalizing, like the new back office, improvements to the compensation plan, improvements into the payment systems, these are all there to support this next level of growth that we can expect happening during this year. All in all, and I hope I don't have to remind you on this one, but we truly have such a unique business model. I actually had a conversation recently with a gentleman from the United States that provided us some expert advice on improvements to the compensation plan. And this gentleman has written, he's architected, he's designed several compensation plans for companies that have either in the past or currently are operating more than $1 billion in sales annually. So you could say that he probably knows what he's talking about. And he said it so well, and it stuck with me, and I remember it very clearly, when he said that this business model that we have, what Corsair is, what Corsair Connect is, what we are doing with the plastic credits, cleaning the planet from plastic pollution, and providing the financial opportunities for people to create financial independence, in his mind, as he said it, could become the biggest thing that the network marketing industry has seen in the last 30 years. And that's truly encouraging to hear this from people at his level. Because we all know this, but sometimes we might forget, what are we really dealing with? This opportunity that we have, what we are building here right now, is so unique. First of all, nobody else is doing this, at least for now. And our timing is so perfect, with everything that's happening in the world supporting everything that we do. Therefore, I'm very happy to again remind you and to share with you some updates how this year, 2026, truly will be the year of the CSR partnerships. What do I mean by that? Well, we are seeing now at a massive scale, bigger than ever, these EPR regulations now taking shape and becoming active. The EPR stands for Extended Producer Responsibility, basically meaning that whoever is polluting the planet will now have to take responsibility of that pollution. Now, the question comes always here, who is the producer? What is the producer? Is it me? Is it you? Who is it? It's very clear. The producer is the brand, the company that's using the plastic to package their products and ultimately is now polluting the environment while doing so. They are the producer. It will be also tied into the actual manufacturers of those plastics. But right now, in most parts of the world where the EPR regulations are becoming active, the producer is the actual brand. Now, in the United States, the country that many consider to be the least developed in this area, we've seen some massive development over in the last couple of months alone. For example, California, which if you look at the GDP of that state alone, would actually be the fourth largest economy in the world. California by itself has now started to already implement the EPR regulations in the state. And this basically means that companies are already now obligated to begin to inform the government institutions about the amount of plastic waste that they're creating. The government and those appointed structured bodies are now already collecting that data. And the companies are now becoming forced to start paying for that plastic garbage. California as a state has a goal that within the year 2032, 65% of all the plastic waste in the state would be recycled, which just shows you the direction where California and approximately 10 other states are right now already moving. Now, let's break this down a little bit. What does all of this mean for us? When this year, all of these projections that we've made years ago are now starting to become active. Well, we know that the global production of plastic waste is approximately 500 billion kilos per year. What you might find interesting is that there is about 60 companies in the world that each produce over 1 billion kilos per year alone. Okay? So about 60 companies that each now will become responsible of recovering from the environment at least 1 billion kilos of plastic waste per year. Every year. You understand that? This 1 billion kilos represents 10 billion CSR plastic credits, which, when we think about these companies and their scale, is not even the biggest companies yet. Coca-Cola is around 3.5 billion kilos a year, Nestle about 3.4 billion, PepsiCo about 2.3 billion. But just one company that needs to offset their 1 year plastic waste footprint would need more plastic credits than the entire total allocation of CSR, CSR 25, and especially right now CSR 26 would all combine. Just one out of the 60 companies offsetting their plastic waste footprint for 1 year. Let that sink in for a second, guys. We haven't seen anything yet. But this moment, this timing, with all of these things happening internationally, in different domestic markets, and even on the state level in the United States, this thing is about to go crazy. And we could not be in a better place at a better time with a better business model and company. Very quickly, I will finish this in 8 minutes, and then we will continue later. Here in Thailand, we are just about to begin now the test runs for additional new 3 reactors that have been in installation. The work is nearly done. These guys are now finishing up the electricity work. And after that, we're going to start running test runs on those, and we're going to bring in more machines up and running. I'm also happy to share with you that the very last payment for our lands that we own and we've been buying now already for about 6 years at the Bangkok facility. The last one of those payments was done last week. So we are now in full ownership of about 30,000 square meters of operating space, which has now been paid for and is in the ownership of Corsair. Small detail, but again, great progress on that area. Also happy to share with you that we have now fully secured and put together and acquired the funding for our first project in Sri Lanka. The project team has completed their project development plan, and during next month in March, we're going to start actual physical operations in Sri Lanka in development of this already existing plant, the factory that we have acquired from one of the largest companies in the country, the LOLC, in joint venture partnership with them. In Finland, we are also now nearly completed with all the test runs over there. We are dealing with very, very cold winter in Finland right now. I've seen pictures from the Finnish team. If it's cold outside, I can tell you it's definitely also cold inside the factory. But we are nearly completed with the test runs of our 3 reactors over there. We've done a lot of work to get to where we are today. The oil quality looks great, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you more information about this. And as we are getting closer to our first oil shipment to one of our customers in Europe. Now, one topic that we will be talking a lot in the upcoming calls is the implementations of artificial intelligence and robotics into all of our operations. You saw a small little glimpse of that now, how Wayne showed you how the support system will now be using AI. I'm very excited to see how that's going to learn from your questions and your feedback and become more and more and more supportive and quicker to answer your questions and provide you information. But also, when we look at the industrial operations of Corsair, we are already now implementing and we're starting to bring in more and more elements of AI and robotics into our operations. In the future, we foresee that the Corsair factories will be primarily run by AI. There will be a number of robots, either they are machines or they are sort of a humanoid style robots that will be doing a lot of the work that involves garbage, trash, dirty work, like sorting of the different waste, packaging, piling, washing, drying, baling, all these kind of things that can be done by robots will be implemented. We are looking to formulate an official agreement with one of the robot suppliers, I would say probably by the end of this year, and then start moving more and more towards the future where the people will be focusing more on the important development, improvement, and meaningful work. And we're going to leave the landfill sorting and all those kind of things for the robots. Something that we will talk later, but I want to open up this topic for you now here today already. Also happy to tell you that the Corsair Capital and its second phase of crowdfunding will be launched soon. The first investors of the first phase will be receiving now additional information in the coming days. And we're also going to begin distributing the bonus shares from Corsair Capital for the partners of Corsair Connect that have earned these bonuses as a part of your advancement in our career program. So a lot of exciting, interesting things happening with Corsair Capital as well. I also want to remind you that there's going to be a very, very important and useful call on the 15th of March at 4 p.m. CET, a so-called Corsair Connect community call, which will be operated and hosted by Elliot, and you will have our top key leaders and also the winners of the Vision 25 awards. Many of them will be there to speak, share with you knowledge about how you can better build and improve your business and reach success within our business opportunity. We also have a fantastic campaign ongoing at this very moment. There is a 25% discount at this very moment applied to the weekly standard rate. So please take use of this campaign. It's not going to be there for long, so take use of it now. We are also going to have our next global call on Monday, the 30th of March, in about 1 month from now. But already on the 15th of March, I will be there to share some latest updates from some of the topics that we brought to you here today. This year, and especially the first, let's say, 6 months of the year, are going to be extremely active. There's going to be a lot of news, a lot of development, a lot of improvements. The back office that you saw today is going to go live. New payment systems are going to go live. New compensation plan improvements are going to be activated. We're going to see a lot of growth, a lot of development on each and every area of our business. And as I've said before, this year, 2026, will truly be the year of the global growth for the entire Corsair Group. That being said, we're just coming now into about 90 minutes of our call, and I truly want to thank each and every one of you who participated in this call with us today. We had more than 1,100 people here today. And I want to wish you all a great end of the week. Let's make this a fantastic spring as we are here, truly changing the world every single day. So without further ado, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, very much. I'm looking forward to bringing more updates for you and being here with you on this amazing journey as we are helping people around the world and cleaning our planet from plastic pollution. Thank you very much, guys. We're going to talk again soon. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye.